put all the
Yes.
religious beliefs aside, what is the feeling of that
Thank
season?
you.
It's renewal. It's
Right.
greenery coming back. It's the promise of a new summer and a new harvest season coming and all of those things. It's renewal, you know.
Right.
Um, so hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Grandma's
Happy
Not
May
Right.
Day. Grandma's
Huh?
not right.
Oh, happy May Day. Yeah, sorry. Happy May Day.
Yep, happy May Day. It's Grandma's not right. I'm Cheryl,
I'm Wendy.
and we are grandmas, and we're not right.
Yes. You're not right in any sense of the word.
Nope.
Nope.
And the whole purpose of this channel is to talk about all the things that irritate us or that bring us joy or
Yeah.
just everything. It's a random
It's a
podcast.
random podcast. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
That's
This is
right.
mostly just, again, I always just picture our kids or grandkids someday maybe going, oh, But maybe when we're long gone, they're like, I really missed them. Oh yeah, they had this podcast thing they did. Listen
That's
to
right.
all these old recordings. Oh, I didn't know that about my mom. I wish I would have talked about it 20 years ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
That's terrible.
And
What a
and
dick. I'm such a dick.
my daughters and some of our other people that know us have said it's just like sitting across the table from you having coffee, and I love that.
I do love that, but there's two ways that this could go. This could go like, oh, I've heard these stories so many times. But here's the
True.
thing. They've heard our stories, but you know what? How many times, like, our mom is 84. So how many times have we heard her talk about stuff and then I'll say, wait, that's not the way I remember it. And she's like, no, this is the way it went. And then I think, does she not remember? Or is it really me? Did I make the story up all these years? Did I not hear it right? So I think
Right.
there's something to be said about, you know, if it, sorry, I kicked my own stand. And there's something to be said about you experiencing something again, even if you've heard the family stories, you hear it
Right.
from a different perspective, you know, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So I'm sure that'll be for us too. And you and I have different, because of our birth order, we're going to have different perspectives as well, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, I just, again, I just look forward to it, good to being with you, uh, and we can just shoot shit like we used to do at the gym. My
Yep.
God, I don't think people realize how much time we spent together from the
Right.
time, like, because we didn't work during the day, we only worked at the gym, but we did work on gym shit during the day. And what, no matter what our kids were doing or what age they were at, we had kids at home, we had kids at school. And I laugh because we had so much time in the morning and then, oh, we got to pick up the kids from school. I'd go with you to pick up your kids from like middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And then it was back and forth. Then when you had to go work, because the gym wasn't making enough money, you had to go back to work. Then I'm picking up your kids and my kids sometimes, and then taking them to the gym. And then we didn't get to spend as much time together at certain points, so we would make up for it at the gym. So
Yeah.
like our just a,
Well,
I'd say for 25 years straight, we spent
oh yeah,
almost every
every
day
day,
together
every day, and
for
not only
25
that,
years
but
straight.
for every gymnastics meet, for every show, and we're talking all the different levels, boys, girls, then cheer competitions, shows, and then all of the different conferences, training things we went to, hours in the car together, hours in hotel rooms together.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder it's no wonder we had marriage troubles in those days. No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
yeah. We were
Whatever.
married to
There
that
are other
gym.
reasons. I know, but
And
we
we were
clinged
married
to
to that
each
gym.
other.
Yes. I
We
think the
were.
best
It's
were
true.
the road trips where we didn't have any
That's
kids, man. We had, I think that's, I mean, I know we love gymnastics and doing competitions, but when you look back now, it's like going all the way to Bakersfield without any kids. Fuck yeah, man. And then being in a hotel. It wasn't about party time. It was about just talking having someone to talk to. But you
Yeah.
guys are together all the time. Yeah, but we don't get to talk. The men didn't understand that. Like, yeah, but you have your kids with you and we're coaching gymnastics. You don't get in in-depth conversations while you're at work, and with your kids. Your kids don't let you talk about shit. It's all about them. So going to
Right.
those competitions in Bakersfield and Santa Clara all the time in Vegas, that was our time that we talked about aliens and the Bible and philosophy, um, and of course the people in our lives that we wanted to talk shit about, and it's like it was so
Yeah.
cathartic, though. I think that's what kept us out of therapy. Not that I think therapy's fantastic. I'm in therapy now, but that's also I was in therapy because you and I didn't hang out anymore because you lived
Mm.
further out, and then I left the gym too, and then it was like and then my granddaughter came to live with me, and I was her caregiver. So all these things changed in our lives. So when you think about it, like, yeah, we've had to resort to therapy because we didn't have each other to
We didn't
talk
know how to
to.
live without each other.
That's right. What do I do now?
Hey, you're cutting out a lot, and I'm wondering if it's because your phone is tapping into your ear
I
speaker
can,
instead of your phone speaker. I
okay,
don't
let me
know.
see if let me get rid of them. Give me a second. I can get rid of them.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
You
now
good?
I got rid of my headphones, so now we're good. We're back.
Okay.
Sorry
All
about
right.
that,
Cool.
people.
That's okay.
Anyway,
Um, so yeah, I mean, this video channel. I mean, all the years we spent together, um, it's just it's full of stories. It's full
yeah,
of life stories in all different directions for you and I. And now that we're over 50 and I feel like we have so much to say about life. And so besides that though, it gives us those days back where we were able
I
to
think
sit and
so.
talk with each other and
Yeah,
do and create together. This is a
right.
creative thing we get to do together.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So,
Because and that's why, like I said, I look forward to it on Fridays because you know it's not like I can just go down the street or go across town anymore to see you.
yeah.
So this is the way it. I know this sounds terrible to say. It forces us to sit down and take the time because I'm bad. Like I only call our brothers on their birthdays and holidays. I'm like, what a shitty sister. And then and same with my dad. Like it's not that I don't care about them. I literally forget.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself to text mom all the time, and it's just because I have tunnel vision, call it from the ADHD or whatever it is, or my personality. It's just, I feel like if I don't stay on task and do everything every day now, I don't want to go
Yeah.
back to that person I was that was flighty and flaky and irresponsible. So now I'm so regimented. Do you have to wash that last dish? I'm like, yeah, dude, if I don't wash that last dish, the shit's gonna come undone and I'm gonna stop washing dishes altogether and it's gonna pile up. It's not, but in my mind, I'm so afraid of fucking up because I've
Yeah.
been not told that, but it's been implied that I've been messed up my whole life with that kind of stuff. So I think that's part of it for me is that this is something that it keeps me on task and and it shouldn't have to do that, but people don't understand. Certain minds have to. Well, you have to be told to have conversations with a relative. It's like, yes, I do. Yes. What do you want from me?
Right. Well, it doesn't matter. It's our way. It's
It's our
our
way.
way. And I don't really
Don't
care what other
judge
people
me.
think. Yeah. So it's May Day, May 1st.
Mayday.
May Day! And I know probably most everybody knows what May Day is, but it means a lot to us. I feel like there's a lot of reasons for me anyway. One is our Celtic heritage, and then the other is just growing up, we always celebrated it.
We did. We talked about that before in school.
Yeah, in school, Girl Scouts, no matter what I was even Sunday school.
Yeah.
We made little May flower wreaths or flower bouquet things,
Mm-hmm.
and we would go set them on people's doorsteps or hang them on their doors and knock and run away. And everyone knew that May 1st they were going to get little flower gifts from
Yeah.
kids. That was
I
May Day.
I swear I only have a memory of doing that once. That doesn't mean I didn't do it more than once, but I do remember, as a kid going and putting it on someone's door and knocking and running away. I think about it now though. Like I'm so get irritated when anybody knocks on my door. You're making my
I
dogs
know.
bark. What do you want?
What do you
Don't
want?
come. So it is kind of sad
Get
that
out of here, you little brat.
yeah, you don't want your kid going around the neighborhood by themselves because of the
Right.
creeps or whatever. It's just we've gotten to this point where we're isolating ourselves.
It's
Except,
true.
except, I will say I could snicker a little bit, about the gated communities or whatever, but not really like your one daughter that they have a really good great group of friends and it's true community like it should be. And all of us have been like, I don't want to talk to my freaking neighbor. I don't know them. Which I'm going to tell you a story about that in a May Day welcome and sad. It's a very sad story for me.
Okay.
But speaking of neighbors, but yeah, like I don't want to get in a conversation with that neighbor. Oh, those neighbors are cool, so I'll talk to them. But I realized in an emergency, like I told my granddaughter, run to this neighbor over here. They know us and they know you. And if you say my grandma's hurt, they will come over right away. They know us. And so you really should get to know your neighbors, so it is sad that we've lost touch in these older neighborhoods or, a lot of rentals and people come and go and
Yeah.
you just don't get to know your neighbors or they're shit
Right.
neighbors that you don't want to talk to.
It's true.
Oh.
Yep. But the whole theme of just new beginnings, caring about each other, you know, spring and summer coming. It's
Well,
it's
the,
like
well, you guys did I know you probably, your elementary school is, you went to Calamasa Elementary, I went to Ukaipa. I know I remember learning about the maypole and
Yes.
doing the maypole. And I don't know if it was around like the tetherball poles or somebody held up a giant pole. I don't remember how, I know we did it. And just that alone, I don't even have to look it up in the internet to understand what the maypole represents. You're taking a bunch of people and weaving the ribbons
Yeah.
together on the pole to show some kind of unity and togetherness or whatever.
and celebrating spring and yeah.
Yeah, with the spring colors, the ribbons were pretty pastel colors or whatever. And
Right.
yeah, but
But-
I'm sure we'll get to why we don't do that anymore. Cheryl
Well-
has the answers, people. She has all the answers.
I don't have, I know I don't have the answers. I have my own
The answers
assumptions.
well, yes, the answers that you've grown up with, the answers that you've researched. Yeah, but research is knowing the answers.
I guess.
I mean,
but,
if you
know.
didn't have the internet, you'd go to a fucking library. You know what I mean? It's like you still have the answers.
I guess. Well, before we get much deeper into it, is there anything you want to say about your week, or
Yes, my tragic story. It's terrible.
you have a
It's about
tragic
bees.
story?
It's about It's about bees. It's terrible. To me, it's terrible.
Oh, but bees
so-
go with May Day.
Yeah, they
Spring
do.
wouldn't be spring without bees.
Well, not these bees are not going to be helping anybody. I'll tell you that right now. These bees met an unfortunate demise. But
Oh no.
I'm trying to make it as brief as possible. So, the long and short of it is, our two water accesses, and because you lived in this house, two water accesses right next to each other. The neighbor's water access, they all have the holes, so you can put the little tool in to pull it up. So I noticed bees around there, and I didn't think it's been a year. It could have been a year, but I kept saying, "Oh, there's bees. There's probably bees going in there." And like I just said, I didn't want to go talk to the next door neighbor because I knew it would be a long conversation. And she's older, her husband had passed, and I was just like, I don't want to go over there. There's never a right time. So me, the great put offer, didn't go and do it. And there was more and more bees and more and more bees and more and more bees. And then finally my son got stung working out in the yard and he got pissed off. And he
Oh,
had, he, right when it started happening, he wanted to put a brick over it. I'm like, don't put a brick over that hole. Because then they were trying to go into ours and I don't want that either. And I also, we don't want to kill the bees. I don't want to kill the bees, you know, I don't know what's going on in there. And then we called the water company and they're like, no, the owner has to do it. We can't do anything about it. I'm like, it's in your water access. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay.
wow.
So then we let it go. And I'm like, okay, we really should do something. Okay, well, I'll send a letter to the lady. And then the months went by and I never sent a letter to her. They went kind of dormant in the winter. There wasn't as much activity. So here comes spring with a vengeance. And people were getting pissed off in the house. Let's just say that. And then finally, somebody wrote a heated email to the water company like, this shit's getting serious. It's affecting our drivers, Amazon people, the gardeners, anybody who comes, the mailman, everyone, people, kids walking up and down the sidewalk. There's all these bees. So lo and behold, I pulled up yesterday. So this is Friday. Yeah, I pulled up yesterday with my granddaughter. We had a plan, gonna get out of the car, go to the bathroom, do what we got to do. We're gonna get back in the car. As I come up to my house, there's a sign: careful, bee removal. Bee removal. And there's a guy with their beekeeper's hats and all that. And the guy's like, these are the most aggressive bees I've ever seen. As I have my window cracked like this, talking to him, I'm like, of course they are. It's me. Of course they're the most aggressive bees you've ever seen. And you're my age, so you're old as fuck. And you're my age telling me these are the most aggressive bees? Of course. Well, come to find out, that lady doesn't even live there. She hasn't lived there for months, so she's in a home.
Oh,
So I
wow.
could have, but somebody's running the house, probably her kids or something.
Yeah.
So I should have
Yeah.
written a letter. So I was mad at myself that I did instantly. Instantly, in the time I saw these beekeepers, my mind's all anxiety. I saw the bee sign. Ooh, I see a beekeeper guy. Anxiety. Ooh, he's telling me they are aggressive. Ooh, we can't go in the house and come back out because there's too many bees. Okay, we're just gonna leave, and now I have to plan the day. She's got to go to the bathroom, and so it was just one of those like go go go. So when I come back home, the guys are gone. It'd been like 3 hours. I go to back my car up to the curb and all these bees are still there swarming. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I pull back into the driveway and then I go look on the curb and there's like a big puddle. Obviously it's like either some kind of bee goo or poison or whatever, and all these bees are congregated on this big spot. And then I go look at the water access. They had filled up the hole with whatever, some metal, something, or some kind of composite. And then there's dead bees everywhere. There's live bees crawling around. And then my heart is just like, fucking killed all these bees. That was the whole point, is why I didn't have someone come, is because I didn't want them exterminated. And I had even agreed, I'd pay for it, what, $100, $200? I'll pay for the damn bee removal. And it's my fault. So that was my anxiety yesterday, that it was all my fault because I should have just taken care of it, but I procrastinated in true ADHD form. And then, so of course, now I'm beating myself up. And so yesterday my blood pressure was up, my heart was pounding. It was just really a shitty day. So I go to work and it gets worse because I was talking to this Dory, and this nurse, she's brand new nurse, and she's all, oh, I wish I would have known. My brother does that for work. Like, he does bees.
Told you to
And
call her in.
she goes, he loves the bees. And I go, well, that's great. Thanks for telling me now. And then,
Aw.
yeah, so it's tragic because it is ultimately my fault. And I know some people say they're just bees. Somebody in my family said that, and I'm like, they're not just bees. They're not even probably honeybees. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just the point that, we got to be careful. If those people are exterminating bees, then how many other people are exterminating
Yeah.
bees? That's the point. This isn't just a one-off. This is one of thousands of people in the world, country, whatever, killing bees because they're pests. If they're not pests, we need them. So anyway, that was my tragic bee story. And
Aw, I'm sorry about that.
yeah, every time I go out and I see them, I'm like seeing all the dead bees. Sad.
Yeah, I remember when I worked for Ability Counts in Riverside, and we had bees had created a hive in one of the trees right above the main parking lot, just a few, not even 50 feet, well, probably, let's say, close to 100 feet outside the front door. So it's where
Yes.
all of the staff and all of the clients would get dropped off. So
Right.
they had built a nest, and couldn't risk the clients. So it was
Yes.
my job as the resource specialist. That was kind of in my wheelhouse, was to figure out what to do about these bees. So I knew we didn't want to destroy them. So I called around and I found someone who was a beekeeper that will come and remove them for free, because she likes to have the queens so that she can start new colonies, right?
Right.
So she lived somewhere way out of town. I don't remember, but it was like, close to 100 miles away or whatever. I mean, it was a ways away that she lived.
Okay.
Maybe not that far, but, far enough that I was surprised that she was going to come out for free.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're waiting for her to come, and here's this lady in this little old Subaru, like, station wagon.
Okay.
She's old. I mean, like my age now, so she probably was
Yeah.
60 something, and that was
Okay.
what, 20 years ago that this happened. And
Yeah.
she had her little beekeeper outfit, the whole bit.
Yeah. Right.
And so we're like, and then she had this little can of this smoke stuff,
Yeah. The smoke.
And we showed her where it was, and she says, I need a ladder or something so I can get closer to them, so I can get the queen. So I said, oh, I know what we can do. And I asked Victor, I said, can we bring a forklift? So we brought one of our warehouse forklifts out there.
We won't talk
And
about
she's-
it. Probably that's not OSHA. That was.
Totally not approved, right? I mean, but hey, we were thinking creatively. So I think it had a basket though.
Yeah.
I think we had a basket for it.
Uh-huh.
If I remember right. So she was in,
No,
a
I know.
control.
I just laugh because we know that
But-
technically that's. I love
I
it.
know.
I love it
So
already.
she gets in there, and Victor raises her up there, and she smoked them a little bit so they would calm down. And then she just fussed around, and all of a sudden you could see her put some stuff in this little thing, and she's like, okay, okay. So he lowers her down, and she goes, okay, I got it. See you later. I'm like, do we owe you any money? Oh, no. And she gets in her car with this little container, and the bees are following her. They're in her car. They're flying around her car. They're following her down the street. And she just goes away with the bees. And
Wow.
eventually they all just kind of went away. But
Yeah.
it was amazing. I was like, oh my God, that was just so cool to watch.
It really is. I follow a lot of people, and so that's why it hurts even more knowing what could have been, and
No, because listen, when we had those bees in our wall, in our house,
oh God, yes.
I remember I just kept hearing this continual hum, and I had no idea where it's coming from.
Oh,
I
man,
couldn't,
dude.
it was like, what is that, and where is it coming from, right? So I went into our guest bathroom for something, and I saw two bees flying in the bathroom, and I'm like, where did those bees come from? It's not like we had a door open anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh my God, that's what the buzzing is. So I thought, okay, is it outside and somehow they got in? And what I found out was they had built a nest by going through the little hole in the clean out thing on the side of the house,
Right?
where you pull it out to clean out your water drain or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they had made a huge nest in there. And then because we had one of those vinyl insert tubs,
Oh, yeah.
they were able to get up behind the walls of that and able to get through any little hole to get out of that. So they were in our house. So I had
Wow.
to close the bathroom doors. And I called around, and everybody I talked to, because this was years after the bee lady, everybody I talked to, well, we're just going to come out and kill them. Well, I said, well, can't you just take them somewhere? Nope. If we come out, it's $200 and we kill them. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not what I want. So I didn't know what to do. And so I'm trying to look online. What do we do? What do we do? And someone said, if you smoke them out, they'll leave because they don't like the smoke, right? So I thought, okay, cool. So I got a coffee can, and I put some paper in the coffee can and put a match in it and let the paper burn, and I put it underneath the faucet in my bathroom so that the smoke would go up through and behind the walls in the area.
Okay.
Okay? As soon as I started doing that, I could hear outside the volume of that humming going nuts. And I look out my bedroom window, and the bees are just like going crazy. Yeah, because the bathroom is right next to that room, right?
Oh my God.
So I thought, okay, well, it kind of worked, but, that doesn't mean they're going to go away. So then I'm thinking, okay, what else can we do? So then by that time, Mike comes home. And now it's starting to get to be dark. Well, we knew we'd have to wake up in the morning and take showers. You can't take showers with swarms of bees coming in to both bathrooms.
Oh my gosh.
So he says, well, I'm going to go try to just get, if I can spray them out of there, and then the queen will go and they'll follow her. I said, spray them out? What are you talking about? So by the time the sun was going down, he thought, well, if I take the power sprayer with the hose,
Aye.
and I open up the door and I just spray at them, it's dark, so it's not like they're going to try to come after me. They're just going to go calm down somewhere. That was his logic.
Right.
So, anyway, he started doing that, and they are coming after him. Oh my gosh. The little soldier ones are like, and he's spraying just for his life.
I would have paid good money to see that.
So I don't know if the queen got away. I'm not sure what happened. I just know there were a lot of dead bees in the process, and but we didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought you hired somebody to take care of them.
No, not the ones at our house. And I've had wasps before, like a wasp nest. And my solution to that was, I'm sorry to say, a can of gasoline out of the lawnmower. And at night, when they're all in the nest, you just put the can of gasoline up under the nest, and they just fall and die.
I know.
You just scrape the nest off, and you're done with them.
Yeah.
I've done that 3 times in my life.
I mean,
As a
first
single mom.
there's differences. Like obviously, the bees they have a singular
They have a
purpose,
special purpose. Yeah.
and wasp is like
They have a
if somebody's
purpose. I don't know what it
allergic.
is,
Yeah, we don't know what it
but
is.
it's-
Although they do have an ecosystem that you don't fuck with, because remember up at Lake Arrowhead, wasn't that part of the bark beetles and the wasps? They took care of the wasp. It was like the lady who swallowed the fly kind of shit.
Yeah.
They fucked with the wasps, and then it fucked with the wasps eating the bark beetle larva, and then the deers ate a bunch of shit and
Something like that. Yeah. It has a chain reaction, and that's talking about May Day. Well, spring. It's like the flowers. Everything is connected.
Right.
We're connected to that too. So it's like we have to figure out better ways of dealing with things that are causing us problems.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, and what's funny, like the people who complain to me and say, "Oh, they're just bees" or whatever, and then I think about that movie Idiocracy, where they're feeding their plants Gatorade and wondering why the plants aren't growing from the Gatorade, and I think about that, like the bees. That's the reality. People who are like, "Fuck these bees," and they kill the bees. I hate the bees, and then one day they don't have the bees. They go, "What the fuck's going on?" Well, you fuckers killed all the bees. Well, I thought butterflies did that. Well, but it's all of it.
It's all of it.
The bees are way more plentiful than the butterflies. Have you ever seen a
They all
swarm
have
of
their
butterflies hanging out at your house? You will see more bees. I don't know. Just it's no one. Everybody thinks satire, parody, movies like that. It's so ridiculous. But is it ridiculous? Which we don't need to get into that. We're talking about May Day. But talk about May Day. Our country right now is May Day, May Day,
May Day.
We're crying
Oh my
May Day.
God.
All of us Americans right now are crying May Day.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry, all of us smart Americans, I should say that.
Yep. Yep. But I think that I feel like with the kind of opening up of minds lately, people kind of coming to their senses and seeing
Oh yeah.
things, it's almost like a new beginning. People are waking up and going,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you know?
Well,
So who knows?
that
It might lead to something good and a true new
maybe
beginning.
just like spring, it's a new beginning. Hopefully, but people saying they were basically under Voldemort's spell, like I said, and they're all
Right.
waking up like, oh, what was it? Tucker Carlson saying, you know, he was talking to some, I forget the guy's name was he was talking to, you and I and millions of others were responsible for blah, 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 whatever, saying this stuff. And I'm like, are you kidding me that you're
Right.
really acting like, yeah, I don't know, we're responsible and we said all these things and it's literally like they were under a spell and
Right.
they're like, yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I was under a spell or something. It's just, no,
I
you
know.
knew what you were doing and you were trying to follow the biggest bully in the playground. And now when the biggest bully is maybe going to fall, you're setting yourself up now that when that bully falls, now I got to jump on the next big thing and latch onto some other one like a parasite. You're just looking for your next host. That's all they're doing. The Tucker
They're
Carlsons of
looking
the
for the next
world, and
house.
they're looking for their
Yeah.
next host. He wants to latch onto the next most popular person because they know his days are numbered. He's old. He's going to die, and then someone will take his place, and they'll be like, "Oh, now let's be with this person." But
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe they'll all get wiped out, and I don't mean it by death either.
No. Just
Ugh.
like
So
86 doesn't mean kill. It means get
yeah.
rid of, change, move out. Yeah.
Hmm. On that note, I don't know if everybody has done this, but I wish everybody, like you can't arrest everybody for doing that. I wish everyone would just have made their profile pictures 8647. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
8647.
What
If
are they going to
everybody
do?
did that, what are you going to do? Who are you
Are
going
they
to
going to indict all
arrest?
of us? Are they going
We
to
all should
indict
have
all of
done
us?
it.
We'll all be in jail with with Comey. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of what is it? You said it's Beltane, or where you're going to get into all that, but
Bealtaine,
Bel.
Beal Taine,
Oh,
Bealtaine.
well then what's Beltane?
It's the same. It's
Oh.
just an English pronunciation of the Irish
Oh,
word, I
okay.
think.
Okay. I was like, am I
Yeah.
saying it wrong? Oh, I got it. Okay.
No, it's like having, I don't know, how some words are spelled a little differently and pronounced a little, because in
Yes.
Gaelic it's
Yes.
Bealtaine.
Okay.
So Beltane would be probably I'm guessing the English. I don't know for sure. I think it's the English
Okay.
pronunciation of,
Got it.
but it means the same thing.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, no, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Just that with the pagan kind of thing, like you said, we used to do May Day and everything, and now it's, oh, we only have room for, the heavy hitters, the heavy hitter holidays. And
Well, but
even
they don't
then,
even. I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just kind of stepped on you
no,
there.
nothing at all. No, I was just saying it's just funny, and I don't even mean, my thoughts always go to school because we dealt
Yeah.
with the gym was kind of like school, and we followed school holidays and stuff, and I
Right.
just and now I'm in a school, and now my granddaughter's in school, so I just laugh at because we had talked about that how we used to do it in school and now we don't, and I'm not saying there's some conspiracy. It was an organic lessening, whatever the word is, of doing those things because probably it had its roots in pagan, and but they still do their Christmas
Well,
programs and sing all their
I
Christmas songs, but they don't sing religious Christmas songs in schools
right.
anymore that I know of.
But
But
I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think what has happened in a lot of places, especially more conservative places, is that through the years, when when I don't want to say the U.S. people were introduced to I want to say when they finally started to read and recognize that there were other celebrations, other religions, other traditions out there, as more people came into our country, um, I feel like the conservative, uh, the conservative traditionalists, the fundamentalists, the more that the pagan people said, this was our holiday and you stole it. This was our holiday and you stole it. This was our holiday and you stole it. You know, the more that that was said, the more they're like, well, you know, instead of, you know what, you're right, that was usurped. So we're going to go ahead and go over here and we're going to start our own new tradition. You do your thing, we'll do ours. Instead of that, it was like this sudden, well, we don't celebrate that part of it. This is, you know, we do this. And so it was their way, even like with Halloween. Think about Halloween. Everyone was fine with Halloween. Even the churches, they had trick-or-treating. You could dress any costume. It was like there was never a problem. And the schools had their Halloween festivals. You remember that?
Yeah.
We had huge Halloween carnivals every year.
Yes. And what's funny is the Catholic church that we grew up next to had the big carnival. And I never thought about it being, they never said it was for Dia de los Muertos or any of that. They had it for Halloween. They had a carnival every year. You could bank on it. And I would go and participate, you know. But then I'm going to tell you, I got to interrupt because I'm going to tell you what my personal opinion is of why that stopped real quick, and then I'll let you go on. Because you were kind of not out of the loop, but you were older. I was just starting like junior high when they were having the Baptist church in town was having the sleepover parties and fun nights where you go and do roller skating, swimming, and we were going to have this fun night, and then we're going to talk about God, which was fine. I was a kid. I'm like, all right, yeah, you can do your spiel. I had fun and whatever. I'm still going to be a heathen when I leave the rest of my days, whatever. So I go with my friends to those. But, you know, I say it was that born again culture because the churches were doing fine. You had the Baptist church in town, the Methodist church, Presbyterian, Unity, which I did not know about, and that's a sore subject still because I thought would have been great. The Mormon church, the Seventh-day Adventists, and the Catholic church. Those were the ones we grew up knowing about, all those churches. And at some point, the Baptist church would have a big, giant festival thing at Halloween, and they would let the community would come, and no big deal, you're dressed up however you're dressed up. But we found out later the kids who went to that church who were in that school, for the Halloween, they were only allowed to dress up as Bible characters for Halloween. They could not dress up in any secular stuff. That's fine. That's your right, you know. But it's that kind of thing, like you just said. It just sparked my mind that was their way of trying to change Halloween. Like, well, you can participate, and we're going to invite the town. They can dress any way they want. But you guys are representing us. You have to only dress in Bible characters. So... Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that those are the little tiny things, like you just say, that chip away at somebody trying to change the way and making it now it's demonic. You know, all of a sudden, it means demonic.
Yeah, and even back to like during this season with Easter, I mean, it used to be a big deal to do the Easter egg hunts and all of that, and I think. Even some churches had Easter egg hunts, and they had Easter baskets and stuff. So in my day, when I was a kid. So what I'm saying, I guess, is that over time, because the pagans were speaking up and saying, wait a minute.
Easter.
These holidays you're celebrating are our holidays that, you know, good old Constantine, way back when.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted everyone united, so he pretty much blended everybody into the same holidays.
Right.
And so because that was true and there was no way to say it wasn't true, The only thing they could do is say, well, we're not celebrating the way you do, though. We're going to make it our own, which is fine. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
matter.
fine.
It doesn't hurt anybody that we're all using the same holiday.
Yeah.
But what happens is then it's like, well, yours, though, is pagan. Yours is kind of along the lines of the devil. Even though they don't say that, it's like you're
It's
pagan,
implied.
which means
It's
"Ugh,
implied. It's
yours is
always
bad."
implied.
Ours is good, and so
Yeah.
it's still that division, and that's why it's become difficult. It's because in school, I mean, not only do you have kids who don't celebrate that holiday at all, or any holidays for that matter, you have kids that don't even celebrate anything, but
Yeah.
you've also got two different kids, families that celebrate this way and families that celebrate that way. So if you put a bunch of Santa Clauses and reindeers up, but you've got Jewish kids in your class, or you've got Jehovah's Witness kids in your class, now you're offending, or you're not being inclusive. And if you put up any religious stuff, now what religious stuff are you going to put up? Just
Yeah.
Christian? So that's why they took it all out of the schools, is because they didn't want to have to do everybody's. They didn't want to have to
Exactly.
recognize everybody's. And you're supposed to have a separation of church and state. So you shouldn't have any religious stuff up there at all. Or
Right.
even any, real, you could celebrate the winter, but then that's pagan too. you know?
They just can't win.
No. And yes, we can. Here's how we win. This
Well,
is
we
how
know
we
how to win. They can't win because in their minds,
I know.
there's a
but
win
I'm
and a
gonna-
lose.
I'm going to tell them so that if any of them happen to see this video, they'll know how they can win.
We're going to change
how
minds right
you-
here. We are.
You win by celebrating the seasons. Oh, it's winter. Snowmen, snowflakes, anything that means winter to you is how you can think about this. For us as a
Right.
government in the schools or even the churches, we're going to put snowflakes, snowmen, and snow women, whatever. But we're going to put up winter stuff. And you can choose to celebrate any other part of it as you please.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
the fall, we're going to put
Yeah.
up fall stuff.
Yeah.
We might put a pumpkin up because it's the time when pumpkins grow and become pumpkins.
Right.
But all the other stuff you do on your own. It's very
Right.
easy. We did it at the gym for years.
Oh yeah, we were very neutral. I love because I get decorations, random decorations from wherever, Walmart, Oriental Trading, wherever we got, and there would be there'd be like a pack, and whatever winter, whatever it was, and there would be just the regular stuff, and there'd be one religious thing, and then I kind of laugh and I go, well, I'm throwing this away because I'm not using this. But you know what? I can tell you, just we had Easter crafts at the school, or springtime crafts, whatever. One of the ladies that told me, she says, I'm a Catholic. I'm not really a practicing Catholic. She goes, I do go, and sometimes I feel like I need it, and I go. And I go, no, I totally understand that. So she goes, hey, come here, check this out. And she was getting all the crafts ready for the kids for whatever the little packet from Oriental Trading was. And she showed me, and it had like a bunch of crosses on it. She goes, well, I'm throwing this right out. And I just thought it was funny. It was like someone who is kind of religious was
Gets it.
recognizing
Yeah.
the teacher I have right now. She has a certain religion, and she totally recognizes the division between church and state. And I appreciate that. It's like, I don't believe what she believes per se, but man, I respect the hell out of her for keeping that
Right.
separate, No, I was going to laugh though what you just said about, that they're trying to, they're always trying to control the narrative. They're always trying to
Yeah.
cut corners and try to, how can we think, it's like,
How can
it's
we
like
sweep this under the carpet so nobody
Right.
knows about it? Or
It's
we don't
like
want our
they-
kids to know this.
they just keep wanting to call the manager. They're just those manager people. Like, what can we do? And God and Jesus are their ultimate managers that they have to call. They have to go, I got to sit in prayer with this. The funny thing is, whatever they sit in prayer with, it's not working because all the things you do have led to like the scales tipping all the way to disaster before you have to write it again. And you got all these people protesting And then you're like, what? Why are they so pissed off? We tried to accommodate them. No, you didn't try to accommodate anybody. You're still trying to get your hands in everything and make it about you and your religion and your beliefs. It's like they cannot stand the happy holidays. There's a song called Happy Holidays, Happy Holidays. That song's been around since the 50s. Are you fucking telling me? My parents had, or not my parents, my grandparents, and I know you'll remember this, until I was in high school in 1984, 85, right before they died, or my grandma died, they still had in that, the garage, in the window, was a Christmas sign that hung there 24/7, 365, Season's Greetings. It was a red little plastic sign. I can't believe that shit survived all those years in that window.
Right.
In San Bernardino.
Yep.
Season's Greetings.
Yep.
My whole childhood, that sign was there in the window. So, Season's Greetings and Happy Holidays has been a fucking term for years. But see, they wanted to make it a big deal. They made it a big deal. They were the ones who said, so it's the same thing with Easter and spring and like May, like you said, an innocent thing like May Day. If I went up to somebody that was of that mindset and said, Happy May Day, they'd probably lose their shit. How dare you say Happy May Day to me, you pagan ass? You know that would happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing that's interesting to me is when you really, really, really get down to the feeling of certain holidays, even like May Day, or even Easter for that matter. You get down to the feeling of that season. And everyone can agree upon what the feeling of that season is.
Yes.
Put all the religious beliefs aside, what is the feeling of that season?
Thank you.
It's renewal. It's greenery coming back. It's the promise of a new summer and a new harvest season coming and all of those things. It's renewal, you know?
Right.
So, and then with the winter, it's everything being quiet, going to sleep, everything kind of taking inventory of the last year and just coming to a close to be ready for the new you in the coming spring.
Right.
So it's like, if you think about that, we can all agree that that is the truth.
It's all of it's symbolism, all of it's allegory, all of it's what's the other word I'm looking for? Anyway, but I mean, I don't understand why, like I said, there's such a problem. Like they just, and I say they as in the whoever that just doesn't like it. When I say they, it's people who think opposite of us. And what's funny is here my daughter's trying to teach her daughter things like this, you know, and I look it up every time there's a little holiday like this. We'll look at a YouTube and it's usually like something for kids. And I explain it to her and the video explains it. And like we made a little, I have a plant stand and that's kind of where we do all our little decorating in this one corner in the house. And so spring, we went out and gathered flowers and we made all of our little flowers and you know, you could call it an altar if you want, but see, you say the word altar and people lose their shit like, oh my God, it's demonic or whatever. And, you know, this kid loves themes. I love themes. I'm teaching her that, you know, that the themes, and it just struck me when you said that about the feeling. Well, the feeling for kids, hunting eggs, you know, they grow up with that. Now it's their plastic eggs with toys and money and candy and whatever. Not everybody's hunting real eggs. I like to dye the eggs, you know, and then we didn't hunt them in the yard because guess what? She went to her little friend's house because they have a big to-do at their house in Hidden Meadows or wherever it is. And that's great. She wants to do that. She doesn't want to go hunt real freaking stinky ass eggs in the sun at grandma's house. But you know what? If I would have done it just us, like after school, she would have got a total kick out of that.
Oh, yeah.
It just didn't work out. But she loves the fact that we went and clipped flowers from the garden and we pressed a bunch in a book. We pressed them in a book. and then we made a little altar type thing with the flowers, and we talked about the spring. I
Right.
want her to remember that stuff, and she wore a flower dress for May Day today. My daughter is
Yeah.
instilling that these are things, but my daughter doesn't go, oh, the witch of this and that and whatever. She's probably not giving her the same education that you're
Right.
giving us about the history of what it is. She's just telling her we celebrate the spring and the May Day and the fall equinox and the moon. We make moon water and we talk about it, whatever. But the other kids, their message is, well, we hunt these eggs because we just do it, all right. It's part of our traditions or whatever. But that's the difference to me, is that I want my grandkid to know, and I wanted my kids to know why I do the things I do, why
Yeah.
we do the things we do. Don't just say you believe and you shut up and you listen and you just do it because.
Yeah, you want
You
them
know.
to be drawn by their heart
Right.
to really feel whatever the celebration is for the year, and you can't threaten them and make them fearful in order to make them appreciate it or respect it.
Right.
That's not the idea. The idea is to learn about how to be grateful for something, and we're
Yeah.
grateful for the fact that the spring has come, summer is coming, then we're grateful for harvest time. And then we're
Right.
grateful for the winter when everything gets to be renewed, because it has to go back into the ground in order to come around for spring again. There's so much to it that we've stopped teaching our children. It's all about presents and candy and or
Yeah.
it's all about church and being a sinner. I
Well,
don't want my kids or my grandkids to feel that way. I
Yeah,
want them to
that's-
recognize the season for what it's meant to be.
And that's what the other side, I forgot I was going to go somewhere with my tangent, but that's the other side of it too. Like you just said, you have the religions that don't celebrate. They believe in the Bible, but they don't, like Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate because of the John the Baptist and the head and the plate and the birthday and all that shit, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I respect that, but then that's like the opposite end, that you don't celebrate anything that's of the world. And I'm not knocking it, because I know they do whatever they do their own thing to make themselves feel good and have that feeling. But it just, to me, I don't care what religion you are or you aren't. I don't care if you're an atheist, Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate, and maybe atheists don't celebrate. They're too similar. One's religious and one's not, but they both don't celebrate shit, right? But like you said, what's the harm in celebrating anything that has to do with the earth? I believe that the earth, to me, is ultimately the God force. I think the earth is a breathing, living thing. It doesn't have any feeling. It's not a sentient creature in the word that it makes a choice based on an intelligent decision. But if it doesn't like what's going on, it's just like anything else, like a plant that does something else. The light's here, I'm going to go here. And so the earth causes earthquakes and floods and hurricanes and earthquakes to adjust itself. It does it just because it does it. And it's not punishing us, and it's not giving us rewards, except for the rewards that we find in, like you said, the good feeling.
Yeah.
But the earth isn't giving that to us. We're, I don't know. I could go on and on, but it's just that whole point that, well, atheists, you could teach your kids to just appreciate the earth. You don't have to even celebrate the pagan rituals and shit.
Right.
Just
right.
celebrate that there's a change, a scientific change.
Exactly. And I think that is what, to me, could bring everybody together.
Right.
Just recognize this. This is that we're going through this season. Let's look at all the wonderful things this particular season does for us as humans and be grateful. That is so simple and so down to
Yeah.
the basics that who could argue with that if everybody could just learn that,
Right. Dude, even our two primarily American holidays of Thanksgiving and 4th of July now have all of these bad luggage that we're carrying around because baggage, not luggage, baggage.
Baggage.
Yeah, it was close, man. I was close.
Baggage.
So they're carrying baggage because Thanksgiving with the Native Americans, First Nation
Yeah.
people, and all that. And it's like, okay, I get it. I am one of the most lefty liberals you'll know, but there has to be a balance. I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon, which I won't mention names, but there's some people in the family are like, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because of what they did or what we did or whatever. Okay, that's fine if you don't want to do that. I'm not knocking that. But I'm not going to not have a, why can't you take advantage of thankfulness and still getting together with the family and just being thankful? But see, they can't do it because it's tied to their the stain on society of what we did to Native Americans. Okay, great. Same with 4th of July, like, and the whole Kaepernick thing with the flag or whatever. It doesn't represent me. The Star Spangled Banner doesn't represent me because of what was done to the black community and now the Mexican community and the Japanese. I know it goes on and on and on of wrongs that we've committed. Okay, well then let's find a new way. Celebrate the America you want. And you don't want to put the stars and stripes in the flag. I agree. Make your own fucking flag. Have your kids make a flag that represents your family, what you would envision the American flag to be like for you. And then take advantage of the fireworks and talk to your kids about, this is what we're celebrating. There's fireworks all around. We're going to take advantage of it, you know.
It means freedom for us now today.
Right.
And however we see that. Now, are there issues right now with freedom in particular? Yes. But technically, we all have the same rights and are free.
Yeah.
So if you can celebrate just being glad that you live in a country where you're allowed to even complain, you know, that doesn't mean that it solves any problems.
Yeah.
But for one day out of the year, if we all can just recognize, hey, we are living in a free land, you know.
Well, and I'm going to say this because I know we'll up. Oh boy, 4th of July will be a really good podcast. That maybe have to be a two-parter because I do have a lot to say on that. But seriously, it sounds terrible to say, but someone like us with the white privilege and some of this stuff's never going to affect us. We live in our small little town.
Yeah.
No one's coming to get us. That's like when they were all, Antifa's coming to get Ukaipa, and then they're up on top of their businesses with their AR rifles, whatever they're called, you know, AR-15s, whatever, you know, patrolling like the old West days, you know, because Antifa's coming and nothing ever fucking happened like we knew it wouldn't. And it's like, I could go my whole life and never be affected by anything that's happening right now. Maybe, if that's a very good likelihood. And I can still be proud to be American, and I can be proud that I am free. I have freedom. Yeah,
Yes.
white privilege, I have freedom. That doesn't mean I don't care about my fellow man and what they're going through. I'm appalled by it, and it makes me disgusted. Like you said, whether we're talking about pagan holidays, religious holidays, Black History Month, Asian American Month, Pride Month, Women's Month, it all boils down to the same thing, that why are you so bothered that anyone celebrates anything that's outside of your little box of the white nationalist kind of bullshit? That's what frustrates me the most. So if I say Happy May Day and that irritates you, if I say Happy May Day, if your mind immediately goes to a negative spot from Happy May Day as much as Happy Holidays, that's a you problem. That's a, I'm sorry to say, that's a little more white nationalist problem than it is anything else. To be honest, that's how I feel.
For sure.
That's some shit.
Christian white nationalist problem.
Christian white nationalists. Yeah, sorry. I should have added that in there.
I'm not sure that they're different, but
well, a white nationalist could be an atheist. He just believes in all white people.
Right.
There's prejudiced
I get
atheists
that.
out there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But in general, most atheists are like live and let live. I don't fucking
Yeah.
care.
Well, Happy May Day.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like there's an old pagan saying, I think, I don't, and I have to, I may be wrong on this, but I
So
believe
you're
it is an old
paraphrasing.
pagan.
So we get our paraphrasing brackets out. Paraphrase.
And it's, if none harm thee, let it be. So basically saying, if it's not
I
hurting
like that
you,
anyway, even if it wasn't correct, I really like that anyway. So okay, go ahead.
yeah, it's basically, if you know, if it's not hurting you,
Yeah.
then just don't participate, or don't look at it, or don't listen to it, or whatever. If it's not
Right.
hurting you and it's not hurting anybody, then move on. Let it be. Leave it alone.
Right.
And I love that. And I live my life that way. I think live and let live is such a good attitude to have. Now, obviously, you don't, if somebody's doing something that's harmful to others, you can't just let them keep doing it.
Yeah.
But that's not what
Right.
we mean. We
Yeah.
mean something that's not hurting you or anyone else.
Exactly.
Something that's not a danger to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, the only dangerous thing for me in the ways I believe and the things I talk about in somebody's opinion might be my soul. Well, I don't think you have to worry about that one.
Yeah.
I'm well taken care of. Don't worry about that.
What is it that someone said? What your opinion of me is none of my business.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, what a lot of people in AA programs say. Your
Yeah.
opinion of me is not my business.
Because it's an opinion,
It's an opinion.
and you don't need to worry about my soul. You know, I had a friend who dropped me on Facebook because I liked some political podcast, like post 20 years ago, and she wrote me this long thing like, "Sorry, I have to drop you as a friend." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I didn't mean to insult you or anybody. It's just," and it was just because I think I liked a post that said, I'm pretty sure I've said this before on here. I think the teachings of Jesus Christ had nothing to do with the political right, or the teachings of the right, whatever it was, something to that effect. Like, yeah, Jesus shouldn't have anything to do with the. You can read into that two different ways. Jesus
Right.
shouldn't have anything to do with the politics of the right, and they shouldn't put him in there, like whatever. And so I think that's what she didn't like, and I just liked it. Like I liked it because I went back and went, "What the fuck is she talking about? What is she talking about?"
Right.
And we were best friends in school and stuff growing up, and it's a shame, you know. And I wrote her a big thing, said I'm sorry, I never meant to harm anybody or offend anybody. It's just, you know, it's just the way I feel. And she had written something about, well, I know you're the church you go to, because she obviously knew I was going to Unity because I posted about Unity. The church you go to believes in abortions and homosexuality, and I'm like, what? Oh, we believe in it. We believe in it. And
Believe in it.
I could have went off, and I was just like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way or whatever. And then I got a response that said, well, your letter was surprisingly well thought out. I'm like, surprisingly? What, you think I'm a fucking dumbass? You know, so I'm like, okay, I'm glad you dropped me, because obviously I didn't need you in my life making me feel like a
Yeah.
jackass, which I won't
Wow.
even go into the whole thing, which you would know who she is, when her parents
Yeah.
always talked about how shitty our family was. So it's not
Oh,
really
yeah.
a surprise
Oh, yeah.
that they thought they were better than everybody. But anyway, but yeah, I try to be zen. I do it all the time at work. I go, I'm trying to be zen right now. But the people next door, the people next door that are in the other classroom, or the parents in the parking lot,
Yeah.
or the administration that comes to visit that says things that make our blood boil, you know. It's that same thing where I try to be zen, and then someone opens their mouth and somewhere, and I'm like, oh man, I just want to kick their ass right now, you know. And it's so hard. It's hard to keep
That's
that
warrior
balance.
spirit. That warrior spirit, I think we got from Grandma.
I think so. I want to right all the wrongs, and then, you know, like your
Yeah.
daughter goes, hey, black people got it, Aunt Wendy. You don't need to fight the black people's fight. They got
Right.
it. You can be an ally, but just,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't need to fight everybody else's fight. Just live our life nicely.
and
and
she's
humbly.
right. Like when she said
Yeah.
that, or I think it was a joke post she put, and I was just like, message received. No, but it did make sense. You know, if you would have told
Yeah.
me that 20 years ago, I probably would have been a fight like, you man, tell me what to do, how could you say that? That was the person I was then, and now, like, when someone gives me advice like that, I always look in. It doesn't mean I'm going to be like other people we know that'll, oh no, everybody hates me, I'm going to go run away now and hide because everybody hates me and somebody criticized me. But I'm going to take it to heart. I don't care what it is. If we get comments, I'll be like, okay, that was mean or whatever, but I would sit and contemplate it and go, could I have done better? That's what reflection is for.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal, but can you learn from it?
Right. Absolutely. And then begin anew.
Begin anew.
Which is what today is about. Or
Happy May Day.
Today, as of this recording.
Oh yeah, sorry. As of this recording, I keep forgetting that.
We're 2 days ahead, so
We're 2 days ahead. Friday, Friday, it's Friday. That's why we're in such a good mood, because it's Friday. Well, I'm exhausted. Last night, though, I did partake a little bit in
Too much?
I overindulged last night, and then I didn't get enough sleep. So that's on me. I need to not do that on Thursday nights. It's not a good deal. I gotta stop that. Yeah. My poor granddaughter sitting there, and I'm like, nodding off, and she's like, wake up. But Thursday's our big day, so we go and do stuff on Thursdays. That's our special day to hang out. So we went and got ice cream yesterday and had a little adventure, and the bee thing happened. But so Friday's kind of like, hey man, I gotta take a nap. I got this thing to do
it's
tonight.
Windy time.
It's windy time.
Sister time.
That's right, man.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today. It's May Day. Next week,
Day.
we'll be doing our Mother's Day show. I don't know
Mother's
what
Day.
that's going to be like. But,
That'll be interesting.
Yep.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe we could have a guest on.
maybe we could.
We'll have to
We'll
talk
see.
about it, because aren't you babysitting next week?
We'll talk about that. We've got to
Yeah, we'll
schedule
talk about that
some-
off air. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right. All right. So we'll see you all later. Thank you for joining us. And this has
Bye.
been more like you sitting at the table while we just talk to each other. But
Yeah.
that's
If that's the
who
way
we
it feels for you, great.
we know
Comment,
you're
like, and
there.
subscribe. Comment,
Yeah.
like, and subscribe. And grandma's not right at gmail.com.
That's right. And comment. Let us know what do you do for May Day? Anything? Is it just
Yeah,
another
let's hear
day
it.
to you, which is fine too? Did you ever, as a kid, do anything for May Day? Let us know. We'd be really curious to find out.
I know you got a story to tell, Maud Connie, so you better, or Gizgad, or whatever her handle is.
Right.
I want to see a nice story in the comments about May
Yes.
Day. Because there may
Yes.
be oh, pun intended, something that we haven't heard before. So that would be a
That's
great
right.
story.
It would be. So please comment. Thank you.
All right,
We'll
guys.
see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.